You know how in the past, sessions of these energy waves, I've been talking about how important it is to, refocus on yourself. And today I'm going to give you the number one reason why you should do it. Aloha, my beautiful ones. If this is your very first time tuning in, my name is May. I'm your neurospicy cyberwitch, here to help you unravel anything that has to do with your witchiness, with your highly sensitivity, or your neurospiciness. Maybe specialty on ADHD, ADHDers, but anybody's very welcome here. And, one of the things that I've noticed that is very important for us, and, because I always tell all of my clients, come on, we got to start by refocusing you to yourself, because it just doesn't help if you're refocused too much on everybody else. And today I'm going to tell you why that is not such a good thing and how you can reframe that. Um, and it's the basics. And we've been talking about in the past couple of weeks about it all the time. And today I want to share with you that one point that I find so extremely exhausting for all of us because we focus so much on helping everybody else. We're the typical people pleasers, right? We don't need to, we don't have to talk about it because we all know, if you know, you know, but this is like, we all know. We have the typical people pleaser brain and people pleaser, attitude, and we want to help everybody. And because we know, right? Because we feel them, we feel everything and we know everything. And, whether it's the highly sensitivity that just tunes into everybody, or whether it's the ADHD part or the neurospicy part that immediately knows what the solutions are. The problem with this is our number one cause why we get overwhelmed. This is why we forget ourselves, forget anything else, and why we burn out, why we become depressive. And the thing is that the more we learn to decide, because this is sort of like a decision. And that's why today I want to invite you to make this decision. And I've been doing it with all the energy waves that we've been doing, right? But in this specific one, I want you, because, we've talked about stepping into your own, truth and power and everything. And in this case, I want you to really start to make the decisions of when and where you truly want to help. If you really have the strength, the power to do so, or maybe if it's just not the right time right now to help this and that person. And I know you're going to go like, but May, I have to be nice to everybody and I want to help everybody. I do understand. But you know how when there's little kids and they want to learn to walk, if you carry them all the time, they're never going to learn to walk, right? So what if by doing what you do, which is probably really awesome and a lot of people really love it because, sometimes we just want to be lazy and want to have somebody else do it. But what if because of that, they're not learning what they're supposed to learn? They're not making their own steps. That would be pretty egotistical, right? Because if you're only helping so that you just feel good about yourself, but actually you're taking away the learning experience of someone else. So what if, and I'm not saying stop helping anybody, no. Because the second thing is, and this is something that we've talked about it as well, is that the more you have your own strength, the more you are in your own power, the better you can help other people. So what if every now and then, doesn't have to be every time, but every now and then, you just say no. You decide not to help. You decide not to take over for someone else. And instead, you decide to focus on you, on what you need in that moment, whatever self-help, no, self-help is the wrong word. Self-care moment you want to create for yourself. That's going to help you come back into your strength and then maybe even help other people in a way better way than you have before. All right. So if there's one thing that I hope you take from today's episode is that to reframe the moment of who you want to help, when you want to help, in seeing it as it's not egotistical if you do. If you do say no every now and then, you might be actually helping other people grow themselves without burning yourself out. And, let them make the first steps and then you can step in, right? I mean, we can always find ways. The important thing is that because we shouldn't forget that the moment we step in and do stuff for other people, that's also, crossing their boundaries and your own boundaries. So, instead of doing that, allow yourself to have some self-care time for yourself. It's a lot of selves. And, maybe just say no. How is that? Let me know in the comments if that resonates with you, or if you're going to go like, May, that's crazy. I'd love to hear. I will answer to any of your comments. And until then, my beautiful soul, as always, I hope that you give yourself a lot of praise, because you're an amazing human being and you are great. And I hope you remember that.